The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome to another exciting day of broadcast excellence at TFNN with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host, the koala bear of Wall Street, just minding my own business, eating my eucalyptus leaves, and wishing I had a boat because, boy, it's done nothing but rain for the last 30 days down here and really hard for the last week. Was taking the dogs for a walk, and they needed to do the backstroke the last few days. It was just pretty amazing. Anyway, we've got a lot of action out here, and I have to look in the last 2 seconds where the S&P is, because it's been bouncing up 3, 4, 5 points back and forth since this morning. Of course, we went out and tagged the low end of the range at 1964 this morning on the cash, but since we started moving back up off of that, you would have liked to seen us have some volume back up to the upside. Again, light volume, 1.8 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape, over 1 billion on the NASDAQ. And, you'd like to see this thing come back off and buying really come in. And that's probably why we're off 8 points still on the S&P cash at 1974.57 is the last tick I show. So it is going to be a big deal out here. Also, there's a lot of moving pieces out here. We're going to get to them throughout the show and look at some charts out there. But basically, commies, stinking commies after our precious bodily fluids. If you get the drift from that 1964 movie, 1963, I think 1963. Of course, we're not in the McCarthy days anymore, but communists still pretty horrible people, and proving it over and over again. As we get into history, which communists haven't, since they've tried socialist and communist things, and over 6,000 years of recorded history, it's always failed. But you can't tell them. They're always new people that believe that they can make a paradise out of a system that's never done anything but bankrupt civilizations one after the other. On this day in 1987, if you ever thought your investment timing was bad, let this comfort you. Only 13 trading days before the crash of 1987, Charles Schwab launches his IPO, selling 8 million shares of stock to the public at an original price of $16.50 apiece. Just 20 days later, the crash of 1987 hits. Stock market plunges 23% in a single day. Schwab stock is hammered down to $6.50 a share. And I don't know if he is... really that, I think he probably thought he was lucky. He got cash out at the top. But to run his company, and of course he was around for a long time. So I don't know, maybe he's not feeling that bad about it. Of course, 20 years later, does anybody care? Answer is, of course, always no. It's what have you made for me today? But I would say he's got good timing. And the question is, with Charles Schwab, did the Mr. Ma have the same kind of timing with Alibaba? I'm going to have to practice that. Anyway, it is an interesting day. We've got a lot of news going on. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can post a message in the den, or you can email me at path@tfnn.com, and I'll try to look at your stock during the break. And check your email at the break and try to look at your stock today. So give me a ring. Anyway, 1987, probably not a bad time. Certainly you wanted to try to go public before that date, not after it, right? So, I don't know. Of course, if you paid any attention over the weekend, what I'm calling the Watergate tapes of the Fed are out, and this is the link to them if you want. It's an MP3 of a show that's on National Public Radio called This American Life. A employee there that was supposed to be the watchdog of Goldman Sachs got canned, but I think she knew she was going to get canned. In the last 2 or 3 years that she was there, she recorded a bunch of conversations, and none of these are saying, like, if you don't lay off Goldman Sachs, I'm going to kill you. It was just basically browbeating until people didn't do anything wrong. And of course, half those people that are on those audio tapes ended up going to work for Goldman Sachs yet another day. The question is probably not so much about Goldman Sachs, although there are a few questions in there. It's mostly about the Fed's ability at all to be a watchdog. And my guess is it is probably going to be too hard for them to have an adversarial relationship with the people that they have to be in contact with every day. You don't want to have to go in every day and go, I know you're a miserable commie. Come on, just give me the data. You want to be social with the people that you have to work with every day, and at least that's kind of what the people in this, I'm going to call it an audio documentary about the life inside the Fed. But well worth it. If you can't read it here on Tiger TV, if you email me at path@tfnn.com, I'll be glad to send you the link. You can listen to the whole show, but I think it's well worth any investor out here knowing that the Fed pretty much really doesn't care about what Goldman Sachs does or J.P. Morgan, as long as they can't be blamed for it. And that's basically what it amounts to. But very interesting, a little bit telling, and I'm probably going to be washed under the bridge in a week, but I never seem to be disappointed when I'm skeptical of anybody in the American government. Windows 9 is going to be shown tomorrow, most likely. At least that's the giant rumor that is not such a secret. They are going to show all the new stuff, be out supposedly in January. Support for Windows 7 is going to be over in January. So they're going to try to push everybody into Windows 9. And probably talk a little bit about it tomorrow. I don't know exactly when the rollout is. So, of course, I can neither confirm nor deny, since I am a registered developer with Microsoft, that I've seen or not seen any kind of new stuff from them. Although my understanding and the rumor on the internet that I'm reporting on is that they will be making a preliminary version available, as they have in so many others out here. But it should be the return of the start menu for all those people in Windows 8 that miss it. I've kind of railed and become the official Apple skeptic because so few people in the media have, in fact, media tech watchers have become nothing but lapdogs and, I can't say it. Let me put it this way. I would fire them if they worked for me. They've done nothing but become horrible homers. And what does that mean? It's like having the game announced by your local, the ball game, by your local announcers. They're not going to get down on the coach or on the players or anything. They got to sell to the local market. But the problem is there is no local market. They just all have bought iPhones because other people bought iPhones. They live in New York. All their friends live in New York, and they probably are mostly Apple users. Every time I see them, I can't see one of them who says the Apple market share is now 15%, where it was 100% 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, or 90% 2.5 years ago. It's a very firehouse effect. And I saw some really horrible headlines out here this week, and that is things like the problem isn't as bad for Apple on the Bendgate and bending Apple phones as a lot of people thought it was. And, it's much about nothing. I mean, a lot of ads just flat out Apple apologists. Well, I'm not saying it's a big deal. I am saying that it is somewhat problematic because Apple will have big problems like they had last week, and the press won't even carry them. Apple was able, with their new update, to brick about 45,000 phones. Imagine if 45,000 customers, anybody, were put out on the street or the cars didn't start. There'd be no end to the hounding. But because they're homers, they pretty much gloss over it as quickly as they can and move on and focus on things probably not as exciting as Bendgate. But, of course, Consumer Reports did a test out here, and the new iPhone 6 takes about 70 pounds to deform and about 100 pounds to break the case, which is, in the scheme of things, not really bad. But, of course, the old phone was 150 pounds to break, so 50% more. So is there a difference? Yes, there is. Is the press a fawning lapdog for Apple right now? Yes. That's probably one of the things that's going to hold Apple up, I suspect, into next year, and that is that you don't have anybody willing to say anything about them bad except me. And I'm not saying that it's a bad product, and I wouldn't say that I wouldn't buy one, although I am more of a Android phones. It's just that the things that you hear, like I heard this weekend about, everybody in Silicon Valley is just telling me how expensive it is to get anything out on Apple because of the testing. There's so many, on Android, because there's so many phones that have to be tested. There's such segregation in this. And then, of course, 5 seconds later, he's telling me about how all the apps don't work on the new iPhone 6 Plus because the scaling isn't right, and they don't have it right. But it'll be done soon enough. So, these guys, they basically have a template. That template is not going to change. But at the same time, they said it took $20,000 to test their app to get out the door. They're telling me how they spent about $100,000 on software from Apple to actually write the software on the iPhones. So what's worse, paying $20,000 to test your app, or $100,000 for the software because you have to buy very expensive iMacs and everything else? I just told him he was nuts and looked at him very strangely. But if you want a good phone, the Galaxy Note 3, 150 pounds. Note 4, I understand, is the same, although the Consumer Reports people did not test it yet. So it will be interesting, but I still think Apple will probably hang up here through Christmas. The downside will be next year after everybody's bought their super phone, much like Samsung sees now, a fairly crowded market that's been rather satisfied. And for disclosure, I have a Samsung Galaxy S3, which is, I think it's fine. We'll be back in just a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
Andy Hecht's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Well, if you watched Financial Infotainment, you would have thought that it was the riots. I wouldn't even call them riots. I'm going to call them protests in Hong Kong that was the problem. It took about half a day. I knew it because I had already read the news, but it took about a half a day, almost about lunch, before they actually talked about why they were protesting. And that was the miserable commies, the Chi Coms, basically said you can vote for anybody as long, and there'll be free elections, but we get to pick your candidate. And, of course, there'll all be some miserable commies. And if you're wondering why everybody's running around with umbrellas, not exactly sure, although they're calling it the umbrella revolution. I don't think it's that big a deal. But I do think that what we are seeing there is, especially with us becoming very much like we did in the 1930s, isolationists, and probably with ISIS and everything else drawing down our military. Everybody, especially evil, loves a vacuum. And whether it's in Hong Kong, in the Mideast, a shrinking violet of the United States invites nothing but tyrants and horrible people. But if you thought the Chi Coms were anything more than what they were before, not really. Like the old scorpion story where the frog gets the scorpion asks the frog to swim across the river, and the frog says, "No, you'll sting me and I'll drown." And the scorpion says no. Well, they get about halfway across the river, and the scorpion stings them just before they go down. And he goes, "Why?" He says, "Well, I'm a scorpion. It's in my nature." And miserable commies don't know any difference. Anyway, they are going to try to force them into something that when they handed back Hong Kong was agreed on, and they, of course, are not. So when I warn you about investing in Alibaba, not trading it intraday, but there's always the possibility that one day they'll just take it all away because they believe it's all them. And if you go over there a few times and really understand the ruling class of China, not the people out there, I think you'll understand just how dangerous it is to be involved in financial dealings with them. Basically, they think all money is theirs, and if they had the ability, they would attack us tomorrow and take it. And that, of course, is the ruling class. Most of the other people out there, just like everybody else in the world, just want to go to work and have their iPhones. But look for this to continue, because there's a huge group of young people in Hong Kong that took it for granted that they would be able to vote for the people they liked. And they are not willing to say that China can just tell them who they can elect, who they can't. So keep an eye on it. Now, most people would have thought this is the reason we were down. It was not. Charlie Evans from the New York Fed on live CNBC basically was kind of backed into a corner and admitted that he is more than a hawk now. And that's when the futures really started coming down, because he would make not the third dissenter, but the fourth dissenter. And you don't have too much farther to go in the Fed, but that he said that pretty much put a hitch in the get along. We are off 11 points on the S&P cash, 1.9 million shares. We got to go test that low, I would imagine, of today and a few days ago at probably 1962. See how we actually do down there. We didn't spend enough time making people nervous, and I think we're going to get down there one more time, probably have a much better idea of what's going on. If you watch GoPro, it's up about $5 or $6. I was thinking about shorting it. Tried to short 25 shares, and I figured I wouldn't be able to get any. This was a big sliver deal, and not a big surprise that it popped up. But what can you say? What I do know is that there's no way it's worth $90 a share, but it doesn't matter. There's so few shares available for trading. Now, that is going to change. Anytime that you want, you can always go to the NASDAQ and type in the symbol, and you will find the overview and most of the data on the NASDAQ side. Down at the very bottom of that page, you will find two things. That is the lockup period in days and the lockup expiration date. In this case, it's 2 days before Christmas. They couldn't have played it any better. It's going to be very hard to have any kind of volume a couple of days before Christmas, and of course not a lot going on between that and New Year's. So it's going to be, if you're thinking about shorting this, I think you're probably talking about the 3rd of January, something like that. So keep an eye on it. No shares to borrow, and since people yell at me for shorting stuff all the time, they can never get. If I can't get it, I don't think it's available. I'll check out a little bit further. I guess pretty bloated out here. I was going to at least get a few shares of this thing short. Who knows? Be back in a minute.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped, and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we are back, and I even got a chance to call somebody during the break. I had a question, and I'm going to send them something here, but had several other things. Anyway, one of the reasons I was talking about GoPro is they have several new products. They're going to start having a device from $129, which is called the Hero, a nice little thing. But they are also showing a new product that'll be for sale in a couple of days. And that's going to be a camera that records 4K resolution. And, of course, a lot of the new TVs coming out this fall will have it. And actual TVs below $1,000 already have a 4,000 line resolution already. My question was just how many people are going to start doing feature-length movies on these little GoPros? And it's quite limited, and hopefully the engineer right now is showing you a web page from a company called Red Cameras. But right now, very few, except the most expensive films, are being shot on actual film anymore. Almost all of them are shot digitally. And the company that owns all that business right now is called Red. I always was very interested in it because I had a design, probably 1998, that I wanted my company to build. one of the reasons I was always so mad about all the things that they turned down that were great ideas. But this one would have recorded video directly to a DVD. And there was some really nice, kind of a predecessor to a GoPro. But they were snooty about it. Didn't want anything to do with it. But to me, this may be a little bit of problem for Red. They are not a public company, but one of the biggest ones in Hollywood. They rent their equipment and a lot of the cameras for $20,000 or $30,000. Not a bad deal because, of course, you just have big blocks and chunks where the kind of those big things they used to hang on the back of cameras with all the film in it. Well, now they're full of memory, and you just pull those off and grab the scenes you want, put them into your computer, and zero the memory and start all over again. But pretty interesting technology. But my guess is that we're going to start seeing this GoPro move out of just the high adrenaline sports, maybe move a little bit more into movies with a option to get 4K video at 30 frames a second at 4,000 lines of resolution for $500. Actually, pretty sweet deal. We are working on improving the resolution at TFNN, and there'll be more announcements about that in the near future. Anyway, GoPro, you're going to have a tough time doing anything short on this until probably the lockup, but look out right after the first of the year. And, of course, that's pretty much it for the snooze. We're going to get into some charts and see anything. Okay, got a question. Andy Hex got a couple of new articles out on Seeking Alpha, annual form. And Bill wants a copy, which I'll send him at the next break. And see what else we have going on here. Just make sure I'm not covering anything up. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. See where we're at here now. Off 10 points on the S&P cash. 1972, just under 2 billion shares. So still volume very light today. So you can take it either way. Either the bounce was light, and we did have fairly good volume for the first hour. So the volume pretty much after that has been light. But depends. I guess you can look at it either way, the glass half full or glass empty on volume today. But certainly the down days have had more significant volume. And, of course, even the most basic technical analysis has people kind of throwing their hands up at least a little bit. Okay. What else? Okay. Wanted to get to some stuff in play. I had one question I want to answer in the den. Where's a good place to get computer requirements for 9? Okay. Got a few questions in the den here we'll go through. And let's see. Showing your stripes polar. Red, white, and blue, baby. Yeah. Okay. See if any of these things out here. Okay. Yep. I did go out until we get into some of these charts. I did have a great day out there and met several of my subscribers at the Tampa Hacker Space event with 3D printing on Saturday. Had a huge turnout and everybody was happy. Just so happens that there is for everybody, if you've got Netflix, there is a new movie that just started on Friday. Said it was very apropos and started posting to all the websites and blogs around this event that this movie is called Printing the Legend. And if you look that up on Netflix, you can watch it. But it's all about the first days of a lot of these shoestring 3D printer companies becoming successful and eventually selling out to Stratasys and 3D Systems and their interaction with all of them. But kind of a inside view of what a lot of people think as startups, as the smartest people in the room, are just a lot of people that have a love for technology and kind of bumbling their way through it. Not anything different than I've ever seen from the early days of the Computer Fest to what I was involved with. If you're new, no one's done it before. You're just kind of feeling your way through it. But kind kind of interesting to see the conclusion that a lot of people involved in that came to, and cashing out for $600 and some odd million. Not a bad deal out there. And let's see if there was anything else out here. That's it. One of the reasons I'm talking about miserable commies today, of course, is that the soon-to-be next president looks like it's going to be fairly active socialist communist, and we're seeing some of these stocks way off on that, like Petrobras. This one is down fairly extensively, but anything around commodities and Brazil is fairly off today. Most of these third world companies, this certainly is down on significant volume today. It needs 62 million shares to break the last low from August 13, 62 million to 42 million right now, with a lot of day left. Now, if we take a little bit better look at this, my guess is we're probably going to come back down to this about $13 level. You had basically a gap up on 29 million shares, which is fairly decent, but that gap goes back to, June 6th of this year on 30 million shares. So not a lot of volume back into that gap. But my guess is after this pop down, and as long as it looks like she's kind of one of those things like the guy from Iran. Maybe he was the guy in the embassy. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe she carried an AK-47 around in the hills when she was a rebel. But hard to tell. But certainly one of those gals that probably not going to be friendly to business down in Brazil. So you need to watch that. Other ones in Brazil that are having problems are also are BBD. Down again, Banco Bradesco. I don't know how to pronounce it. This one's another one has a gap. Looks like it's going to $14. What else is on my list here? ITUB. ITUB for Brazil. Another one. This one's down. It looks like it's going to have volume to break the $14.07 low, although it didn't hit it. But all you need is a couple more million shares, and you certainly got the volume. You'll be into it. And this is yet another bank down in Brazil. Always remember that movie, The Boys in Brazil, where supposedly Hitler had cloned a bunch of himself. That was such a strange movie for Richard Peck to be in. I'd much rather see him in To Kill a Mockingbird. Much better movie. But it's certainly a strange movie. I think he was in the movie about Damien, too, wasn't he? He was in some strange movies in the last part of his career. UGP is another one suffering today. And, of course, these are all issues with the politics of Brazil. They don't call them banana republics for nothing. You got a high volume low down here at $20.54 on UGP. And let's just take a quick look here. And Ultrapar, we'll see what this thing does. I'm not familiar enough with all these companies. Fuel distribution and chemical business in Brazil. Like I said, everything in Brazil has to do with commodities, which I was talking to Andy about. He asked why. I said, well, I think she's a commie. And that's about it. I love that movie. Well, 1963. What a great movie about the bomb and communism. Slim Whitman writing the bomb down. It was such a great flick. Anyway, down here to $20.84. Test that February 5th low with 500,000 shares. It certainly looks not like we've got the volume, but certainly the volume to break the March 14th low out here, and that should be interesting enough. Let's see what else we have out here. Got an offer to buy out a THL, which is Athlon Energy. This thing popped up fairly decently today. I think you've got all the volume you need in the world out here for this one. But it does look like at least the market thinks it is real for that. Another big mover out here, TIBX. Which is being acquired by Vista Equity Partners for $24 a share. INFA is popping in. INFA is popping in sequence. Not bad. Informatica. Let's take a quick look at them. Informatica provides data integration solutions worldwide. Enterprise data integration products include Power Center, Power Exchange. Oh, the next one doesn't start with Power. And data integration hubs, as well as Power. Oh, here it comes, Power Center Express. I think they like to name things Power. I remember one of my advertising execs said, oh, that's hot in radio now. Everybody's got to be Power this, Power that. It's kind of like everything used to be turbo. The turbo modem. Everything was turbo. Informatica, nice pop. Not a lot of volume out here. And, of course, you're probably looking at this gap down that happened on September 4th here that had 2.7 million shares. You've got 1.9 today. So it looks like it could make it back up to that 34 and a quarter, let's call it, to fill that gap. To see if there's anything else out here moving that we should be commenting on. CEVO, JNS. That's pretty much it. Let's go back to some of the stocks that I've been watching out here. WIN, W-I-N, Winstream Holdings. As I said, I'm watching a lot of these stocks for the single reason as we look at WIN. Yeah, the boys in Brazil. Yeah, what a weird accent he had. Very strange, Gregory Peck in that movie. Winstream Holdings, WIN. This should be everything that you want in a chart. Takes off with huge volume, comes back with lighter volume, bounces a bit, comes back with very light volume. You're basically looking with very light volume about, yesterday, 7.4 million shares, or actually Friday today, about 5 million shares up against that 115 million share bounce that happened on, July 29th. And that's exactly what you look for in the Wyckoff pattern, but if we were in a market that was headed up, normally you would find buyers all over these kind of stocks, and you are not. And if we don't see somebody come in at the end of the day, one more nail in the coffin of the bull thesis if we see these stocks that I'm looking at here now. Same thing with Trip Advisors. I know a favorite of the DIN players out here. Certainly, lighter volume out here, you should see one thing, and that is should be seeing buyers come right in and a close back above the August 1st low at $91.78, 2.4 million shares. Of course, we had 1.4 million on Friday. Today, 800,000, but still no juice, as they like to say out here, in any of these. And kind of interesting to see that we can't really get our groove back, or at least bull groove. Another one out here, which actually looks very entertaining to me, Tier Lab Corporation, TEAR. A lot of times opportunity is not where you look every day, but certainly this has a big slap down with 1.5 million shares on August 8th. And it, what was that? 1.5 million shares. Kind of gapped up on some decent news on the 14th of August. It's been kind of messing around, got up at $4.45 on September 22nd. Now it's come back down. Volume's kind of light. We did have volume, I almost call it off the top, 400,000 shares, but very light volume out here. We'll talk about what they do when I come back. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument.
By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Tier Labs. And again, you just got just a few minutes to give me a call at 877-927-6648 or email me at path@tfnn.com. Maybe I'll get it to you tomorrow if you email me, or post a message in the den if you want something to look at. But Tier Labs operates a device company, medical device company, involved in developing and commercializing Tier Lab proprietary in vitro diagnostic tear testing platform that measures a tear film for the diagnosis of dry eye disease. Well, there won't be a tear in the place. Bada boom. Okay. I came up with that one on the fly, and I'm feeling good. Anyway, tears out here, there are some interesting charts out here. We talked last week about the China stocks, and I didn't really get too much into the news. We didn't see the protests, so you don't know what's important in China over there until you do hear the protests. But another one out here is Quaihu. We're seeing these stocks kind of get down. This thing's broken the $74.10 low out here from May 7th, 2014. And never really, you want 6.4 million shares. You really haven't got it. So I'd be watching. If we think that this market's going to bounce, some of these China stocks look like they might be interesting, but they aren't bouncing, which gives you a good indication of the market conditions out here. Oshkosh by gosh. And, of course, what would a young man be at 3 months old without his overalls? Certainly Oshkosh provides them. We're seeing this low out here on July 31st, $45.36, 4.2 million shares. You get a lot of these slam downs, but we bounced, we come back to these lows, and volume has maybe just giant sector rotation, but certainly we're not seeing in some of these the kind of volume you would think that would take to break out. Yeah, I know, but I was kidding about the Oshkosh by gosh stuff. I think that's a different company. I was being ironic, but I didn't know it. LifePoint Hospital is another one that should be filling its gap here with lighter volume, and is. So these are the stocks I'm watching to see if they start bouncing. If I'm wrong with my thesis that we are going lower, these stocks should be giving the signal, or a fairly decent signal, fairly quickly, the first ones. And, you look at LifePoint's nice little bounce out here on the 25th of June. No, it's July 25th. 1.7 million shares. Back with, what are you going to call it? 260,000 shares today. Pretty light. GNRC. This is another one that I'm not going to put too much water in, but it is one of those stocks that you want to go to with a disaster looming. Just doesn't look like we have any disasters looming as of late. And, of course, almost a zip for hurricanes this summer. And what are we out of here? We're out of hurricane season in 45 days here in Florida, although we're getting a monsoon-like rain for the last couple of weeks. In fact, the whole area around me is pretty much underwater. Let me put it this way. It was hard to walk the dogs. Almost needed to have floaties on them, and they don't like to go out in the rain. They'd rather pee on my floor. So I have to force them out the door in heavy rains. I got a giant umbrella to walk them on. Well, anyway, take a look at Generac. But a lot of these stocks down here with light volume are not bouncing, and you got to keep an eye on that. If we break ice and just jump through it one day, gap down, and that's it. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can, not when you have to.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.